Now for global business updates, Rotus Oddiri joins us. Good morning, Rotus.
Good morning, Dr. Abasi. Good morning, Vimbai. Good morning,
Rotus.
Rufai. You guys want to make some money today? The market's just taking off. It's risk on everywhere. Look, silver is at $78. Gold is up. Copper has broken through 13,000. Oil is down though. But look at Asia. So we've mixed this up a little bit. MSCI Asia Pacific, broader index, up by 1.6%. This is the CSI 300, another index. We usually give you the Shanghai Composite Index in mainland China. That's also up. Hang Seng up as well, driven by technology stocks. In Japan, the topics is up. Nikkei 225 up, and banking stocks in particular are rising. Why? Because Kazuo Ueda has been hinting that there's going to be more rate hikes, and if you are a bank and interest rates keep rising, that is good for your net interest margin. The difference between the interest that you earn on loans minus the interest that you pay out on deposits. The KOSPI, continuing its record run. Samsung and SK Hynix are the two, Samsung in particular has a large weighting. Samsung is up 15% in just 3 days. It is absolutely wild. And then we've got the TAIEX, which is also up. Apologies to our director who has an affinity for India. We didn't put the Indian market off this morning, but India down. Shout out to our director, one of my favorite people. Then also in the United States, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, he's a big fan. He supports their services exports and also their content. In fact, there was a big investment in Indian Bollywood. I'll bring that news up tomorrow. I saw it yesterday. India is making money. Dow Jones Industrial Average hitting a record that was up yesterday. Your S&P, look at this. There was one point where 6,100 was a record sometime last year. Look at, we are nearing 7,000, and there are some analysts that are saying 7,007, 7,008 is where you could hit on the S&P 500. Your tech-heavy Nasdaq also up as well. Venezuela. Energy stocks. Chevron, the one and only U.S. company that is operating in Venezuela through a permit that they got from the Biden administration, I believe, jumping by 5.2%. These three stocks basically represent the energy ecosystem in the United States. This is Valero. Valero has a special place in my heart. When I was in the United States as a student, I bought my first credit card for fuel credit card from Valero. You basically just buy stuff and you earn points every time you buy fuel. Valero is in the downstream sector. They've got fuel stations in Texas and other parts of the United States, and they refine. So they represent refineries, because most of the oil stocks are forward-looking that will theoretically come from Venezuela, if things work out, will be taken to U.S. refineries. And the United States has hundreds of refineries in Texas, Oklahoma, California, and the likes. Then you've got Halliburton. Shout out to Dick Cheney. May he rest in peace. Halliburton, of course, offers drilling services, surveys. They service energy companies. So across the board, from upstream, midstream, downstream, anyone associated with energy, you saw stocks rising yesterday. Valero was up 9.25%, Halliburton up almost 8% yesterday. Chris Wright, who is the Energy Secretary, apparently, according to Bloomberg, is going to be speaking with oil executives this week. The United States is moving fast. And speaking of moving fast, I don't know if everybody knows, according to military officials, the time between when those F-35 jets and helicopters hit the shores of Venezuela to when they extracted Maduro and his wife was 3 minutes. This is I'm just thinking about the speed with which they've taken him out. Now they're talking to oil and gas companies. They will need to convince the likes of ExxonMobil, ConocoPhillips that have court cases that they've won, judgments they've gotten against the Venezuelan government. And if you are an energy company, why would I want to go in there? What if the next government comes and rips up whatever agreements we come up with? So there's going to be a lot of discussions with Chris Wright, who of course is the Energy Secretary. Meanwhile, in the tech space, the Consumer Electronics Show begins today, but activities already begun yesterday. Jensen Huang of NVIDIA, they've been partnering with so many people. He had his keynote speech. I watched the entire thing, over an hour plus. They have this new chip called Almapeo, I think, if I'm correcting it correctly. It's supposed to be the most advanced chip that they're releasing for autonomous driving. The Mercedes 2025 Mercedes or 2026 Mercedes CLA is going to be the first car completely autonomous driving. That's what they also had an agreement they signed with Audi, and also I think even with Siemens, I mean, they were just announcing a number of partnerships that they have. So that's on the autonomous driving front. Jensen Huang really feels, along with Elon Musk and others, that autonomous driving is the future. This looks like a piece of art. It's actually a TV. Amazon, I think they call it their Ember Lights. This is a TV that's supposed to look like a piece of art. Samsung already started this a while back. It retails for $900, and there's some others. We're going to be getting a lot of tech updates from the Consumer Electronics Show over in Viva Las Vegas. Moving on from there, Nigerian stocks. I mean, we are now at 101 trillion naira market cap. The market up by 1.7%. All indexes were up. Banking, insurance, industrials, oil and gas, consumer goods, 2.3% up. We finished the year up 51% in 2025. And the momentum you're seeing in Asia, the momentum in the US, the momentum, I think Europe is supposed to have Europe opened 9 minutes ago. Futures were pointing up in Europe as well. For now, the market's up. And I had to do this, forgive me. With all the talk of LNG, oil and gas. We had a LNG clash yesterday at AFCON. And forgive me, AB and Aaron. Total Energies is the host, the sponsor of AFCON. They have a $20 billion project in Mozambique. A $20 billion LNG, it was delayed by insecurity. Nigeria has the Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas Company. LNG, of course, they've got with companies like Total that partner with the government in order to export liquefied natural gas. A thrashing of Mozambique, the LNG clash yesterday, 4-0. First team to score 4 goals and first for 6 minutes for the game. Excellent. So that's our update for today.
Today, I want to talk about the power of media.
So something happened yesterday. Comcast had a spin-off, Vazan Media. Mm-hmm. So they've taken MS Now, CNBC, I think Fernago and a couple of other companies to have a spin-off, and they had their first day on the market yesterday, traded for about $40. It was $45 when it started, slumped to about $40. Market cap about 6.8 billion.
Yeah.
Comcast, the other Comcast, that has Infinity and the rest, market cap still over 102 billion. The big takeaway is, Rotus, is when will that day a Nigerian media company
list on the exchange?
Will list on the exchange with all those assets and have a valuation of about 6.8 billion. Probably the only media company.
Yeah, DAR, right?
It's only DAR that has that,
Yeah.
When will media grow to that extent that you get on the market, you list, and your shares are going into the trillions?
We'll grow in time.
We're waiting for that day.
We'll take time. Maybe we'll list first. Maybe our Rise News will list first. Who knows?
You think?
Maybe, who knows?
You think?
We'll see. We'll have to see.
I mean, I'm still very interested in developments around oil in Venezuela. And of course, Donald Trump had made that proclamation on Air Force One that he had consulted the oil companies before Maduro's capture and after his capture as well. And Chevron and a number of other oil companies have actually come out. It was Chevron and anyway, I have the list, have come out to say that they were not consulted in any way. They were not a part of that. They have no prior knowledge. But I mean, I don't expect any different from them. Yeah. So there's that. And then this Alpha Mayo that NVIDIA launched yesterday, which I think is just incredible, scary. Yeah. Because what they're saying is they're taking it a notch up from Tesla because this car can reason. This self-driving technology can reason. It can predict. And one of the biggest complaints with the Teslas is that, well, it takes you through the long route because it only chooses the safest possible route. But this will be able to take you through the shortest route because apparently it can think, and that is just very scary, isn't it?
That's where we're going.
Okay, about this fresh volatility as a result of American intervention in Venezuela. Well, it's very clear because of the uncertainty in the oil market. Brent crude has gone down to about $59.65. The Western Intermediate, as of this morning, is about $56, going down about 1.8%. So because, the market is very cautious about, crude futures. Now, but there are two sides to it. There is a short-term risk. In terms of the short-term risk, now I was saying yesterday that America has already sealed off the whole of that Venezuelan corridor. Yeah. No ships can come in, none can go out. So as a result, export activities will cease. Venezuela accounts for 17% of the crude oil reserves in the world. Now, 1% is what is taken out in terms of export, about 550,000 barrels per day out of a production of about 950,000 barrels per day. Out of all of that output, China buys 2% of its crude from Venezuela. And that's why the Chinese are saying they have strategic investments in Venezuela and they do not want, any of these disruptions. Yesterday, the foreign ministry spokesman of China spoke. Now, short-term risks in terms of the closure. Now, long-term risk, particularly for OPEC, is that if and when Trump is able to do whatever he wants to do with Chevron and other, companies, U.S. companies that will go in there and seize the oil for some time and use it to develop America, as it were. There may be a glut in the market. And then the fear is that if there's a glut in terms of supply, then, of course, the prices will go down. Further down. And that is why countries that are dependent on oil revenue will have to start planning ahead. It may take a while, but we may get to that point. That's why it's called the long-term risk. Anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you.